Worst living room design mistakes that you should avoid. Hi, my name is Aditi and today we are going to talk about worst living room design mistakes that you should avoid. As an interior designer, I have observed people making these mistakes in their living room, turning it into a complete blunder. So if you are thinking about redoing your living room, make sure that you avoid these mistakes. So let's get started. One thing many people tend to overlook is lighting. It plays a huge role on how people experience a space. For example, one paint color under a blazing light bulb may look very different from the same color in natural lighting. If your home feels dark, you can just change out some light bulbs or install a pair of sconces to make a space feel brighter. It doesn't always have to mean a complete renovation. Making sure a room is properly lit is challenging. Lighting can make or break a space. Make sure you work on 3 levels of lighting. Ceiling lights to wash surfaces such as tables and artwork. Floor lamps to provide ambient lighting throughout the room, and task lighting such as table lights or reading lights for specific tasks such as reading or working. The best spot for a TV is on a blank wall that isn't blocking the window light. If it's possible, mount it on the wall for a more streamlined look. Also, make sure you invest in a TV unit that's in proportion to the size of the room. One of the worst mistakes that I have observed people making these days is that they invest in a TV unit which is dwarfed by a massive TV. Before we move any further, I would like to inform you all that we're aiming for a 100 subscriber mark. So if this is the first time that you're watching our video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Many people go for postage stamp sized rugs, which throws a living room out of balance. Instead, choose a rug so big that the front feet of your lounge room furniture are all placed on it. Along with achieving a sense of balance, this also helps to zone your room and make it more larger and winning. Hanging art too high is a pet peeve of mine. For some reason, most homeowners think that they should hang their art high and it therefore looks more important. Honestly, your art should hang at eye level so that you can really see the main portion of the art very well. Also, avoid placing one art piece per wall. This looks very static and uninteresting. Many living rooms are dull for the simple reason that they have no color. The artwork, rugs and cushions are all dark when they shouldn't be. After all, they are the kind of key pieces that add life to a room. A lot of people select furniture that is too large for the space. The couch is usually the worst offender in terms of making the living room look and feel smaller. Also, many opt for chunky armed seating, which in small rooms can take up as much room as an additional seat. My advice is to stick to slim arms for small spaces. If I'm being honest enough, it's fine to be partial to some decorating styles, but matching them all together into one room is another story. Select pieces that have some common elements. For instance, if your sofa has rectangular arms, choose an armchair with the same kind of arms rather than rolled ones. Some people mix and match to their heart's content. Others go the other way and take decorating themes too seriously. It's fine to try and coordinate some of your furniture, but just add in a few splashes of color to break it up. Putting all the furniture against the wall is an invitation to disaster. You should have a few pieces that float in the room and create variety and interest in the floor plan. Sketch on paper how you might achieve this. One way is to have a chair or two floating in the middle of the plan into the seating arrangement. Instead of installing big, heavy drapes, consider roller blinds in a neutral fabric. That way, you can still achieve the blockout effect, but it will be far more subtle. Unless your curtains are made of beautiful fabric or have a gorgeous pattern, you don't really want them to be the main feature of the room. This is one of the most simplest points and I won't spend too much time on it. Please remember to measure your room and furniture to make sure everything fits like a glove. There's nothing much more worse in the realm of home updates than falling in love with a piece of furniture, buying it and then realizing that it is either too big or too small. Not measuring first and eyeballing seems like an easy skill, but that is only until you can't fit a sofa through your front door. Trust me, it has happened to the best of us. I also recommend going back to measure a second time. A common mistake in interior design is that people don't bring on interior designers early on enough in the designing process. In my personal experience, oftentimes clients reach out only after they've bought the house and launch contractors to renovate their kitchens and bathrooms. My personal advice is to make sure that you contact an interior designer when you're in escrow or about to close your escrow. And don't launch, I repeat, don't launch a contractor into your kitchens or bathrooms without consulting your designer first. Not understanding the sit of the furniture before you buy is another interior design mistake that people make. Try to get yourself to a showroom and sit down, or if need be, lie down on the upholstery. If you can't do this, have someone sit in for you to attest how it feels. I mean, these are expensive pieces of furniture that you want to enjoy comfortably. Trust me when I say this, but make sure to try before you buy. In my opinion, the biggest mistake that people make is not taking any risks. They're afraid to try something new or to go for something that they haven't seen or done before. And this is the reason for everyone's home looking the same. My advice is to take some time before you start. Collect images and scraps of things that you love. Test paint colors and look at them at different times of the day in different lightings and maybe even different seasons. And then go for it. A common mistake when laying out a room is not considering symmetry. It creates balance and allows everything to align from lighting to furnishings. To create symmetry, draw a line down the middle of the room and measure to be sure it's the same on both sides. Then start laying out the furniture working from the center line outwards. A room isn't complete without a bit of color and pattern on the floor. Whether you have carpets or floorboards, a rug will add interest as well as provide warmth in the winter. Hanging art is a tricky skill to master because there isn't a simple set of rules to follow. There is an area of interior decor where you need to let your creative juices flow. Whether it's a symmetrical triptych of frames or an eclectic gallery wall or a statement canvas, you want to get the spacing and the height right. As a simplified rule of thumb, I recommend hanging the wall art at roughly eye level, not too high, not too low. If you're hanging art above furniture such as sofa or a console table, make sure the artwork is central above or balanced with the furniture and finishing touches within the room. This is it for this video. If you liked our video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.